There is a moment, and you know exactly the one I mean, where something inside you quietly folds. Not dramatically, not all at once, just a slow, almost imperceptible turning away. A decision made somewhere beneath words that says, "This is too much, I'd rather not look." And you've been doing it so long, this turning away, that it started to feel like wisdom, like protection, like the sophisticated move of someone who has been hurt enough times to know better. But what if that turning away, the very thing you've mistaken for self-preservation, is the only thing standing between you and everything you've been asking for? What if trust isn't something you build once you feel safe, but the very mechanism through which safety becomes available to you at all? Bashar calls it one of the deepest inversions a human being can experience, the moment you stop managing life and start meeting it. And once you see what that actually means, not as a phrase, not as a concept, but as a living reality, you will never relate to your own existence the same way again. If this is already landing somewhere real in you, you found this channel for a reason. The people who end up here aren't casual browsers. They're seekers who have done the work, read the books, sat with the teachings at odd hours when the rest of the world was asleep. If that's you, subscribe. This is where we go past the surface. This is where the teaching stops being something you hold in your head and starts being something you feel in your chest. Let's begin with what Bashar actually means when he talks about trust, because the version most people are carrying around is a counterfeit. When the word trust shows up in spiritual conversation, most people hear it as a kind of emotional management strategy. Trust means, try not to worry too much. Trust means, assume things will probably work out. Trust means keep a positive attitude even when the evidence isn't there yet. And this version of trust requires enormous effort because you're essentially asking your nervous system to believe something it hasn't yet experienced. You are gripping hope tightly and calling the grip surrender. You've been doing the work. You've been visualizing, affirming, showing up. You have read every book that promises the turning point. That's not the problem. The problem is that the trust most of us were taught is still a form of management. It's still you, behind the controls, deciding how much reality to let in and how much to hold at arm's length. It's trust as a technique, not trust as a state of being. Bashar points to something different. He points to the recognition that life itself, the field, the consciousness, the infinite intelligence that is the ground of all existence, is not indifferent to you. It is not a neutral mechanism waiting for you to crack some cosmic code. It is fundamentally inherently on your side, not in the sentimental sense, not in the sense that bad things won't happen, but in the sense that every single thing that occurs is an expression of a larger coherence that your small mind, in this moment, cannot fully perceive. Think of it like the ocean. When you're standing at the edge and a wave crashes into you and knocks you sideways, that wave is not attacking you. The ocean has no position on you. It is simply expressing its nature, enormous, rhythmic, indifferent to the categories your mind has placed on things. The wave that knocks you down and the wave that carries you to shore are the same ocean, the same force, the same intelligence. What changes is not the ocean. What changes is where you're standing and how willing you are to move with it rather than brace against it. Or think of it this way. You are in a river, and for years you have been swimming, hard, exhausted, determined, against the current. Not because the current is bad, not because the current is taking you somewhere wrong, but because you were told, somewhere, that the swimmers who work the hardest are the ones who deserve to arrive. So you swim, and you're tired, and nothing seems to be moving. Life is not happening to you, it's happening as you. The river is you. The current is you. And all the swimming against it has been you arguing with your own deeper nature. This is the first disorientation, and it's supposed to be disorienting. Now here is where it gets more precise, because Bashar doesn't stop at trust the universe. That phrase by itself is too soft to be useful. He goes deeper. He says that turning your face toward life, toward the full, unfiltered experience of what is actually happening, is not an act of surrender to chaos. It is an act of alignment with your own signal. Here is what he means. Every one of you is broadcasting a frequency, not metaphorically, not as a poetic way of describing mood. Literally, the state of being you are in right now, the precise combination of your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, your body sensations. That is a signal. And reality, like a radio receiver of infinite sensitivity, is picking it up and sending back a matching picture. This is the quantum mechanics beneath the metaphysics. Now, what happens when you turn your face away from life? When you shut down, go numb, manage, control, avoid? Your signal doesn't disappear. You don't go silent. You just start broadcasting a very specific frequency. The frequency of a being who has decided the world is not safe to meet directly. And the world, as always, reflects that back. Not to punish you, not because it has any interest in your suffering, but because reflection is all it does. It cannot do otherwise. It is a mirror, the most perfect mirror that has ever existed. For me, this clicked during a period where I had been doing everything, the meditations, the scripting, the feeling work, and reality kept producing the same flat grey version of itself. And I finally stopped and asked, what am I actually being right now? Not what am I thinking, not what am I saying. What is the actual frequency I am living in? And the answer was honest and uncomfortable. I was being someone who was waiting for permission, someone who had learned to want things quietly, from a safe distance, with an exit strategy already built in. I was trusting life the way you trust a dog you're not sure about, with one hand extended and the other arm pulled back. That is not trust. That is managed exposure. Bashar is talking about something else entirely. He's talking about what happens when you let life be real. When the thing in front of you, the difficulty, the beauty, the uncertainty, the love, the grief, is allowed to land, fully, without you immediately moving to process it, explain it, neutralize it, or turn it into a lesson you can control. There is a frequency available to every human being that can only be accessed through full contact with what is, not what you wish was, not what you're afraid might be. What is. It's not about lowering your guard. It's about discovering that you never needed one. Think of a tuning fork. If you want it to vibrate at its true frequency, you don't protect it from the world. You strike it. You expose it. You let the impact move through it without interference. And the resonance that comes back is the most pure expression of its nature. You are the tuning fork. Life is always trying to strike you into your truest resonance. And every time you turn your face away, every time you protect yourself from the impact, you mute the very frequency that would bring everything you're looking for into range. So what does this look like in practice? Because if this stays abstract, it's not useful to you. Start today with this. Choose one area of your life where you have been carefully managing your exposure, where you have been wanting something but keeping it at arm's length, where you have been saying yes with your words and no with your body. It doesn't have to be the biggest thing, it can be small. And for today, just today, let yourself want it with both hands. Let yourself look at it directly, not with the strategy of how to get it, not with the mental machinery of how to vibrate correctly toward it, just with the clean, honest acknowledgement, I want this. I am allowed to want this. I do not need to protect myself from my own desire. That moment of full facing, that is a frequency shift. That is what Bashar means by trusting life. Not the intellectual decision to assume things will work out, but the embodied present moment act of turning toward what is real in you and refusing to look away. Life is not happening to you, it's happening as you every time. And here is the synthesis, the thing I want to leave with you as a living question rather than a closed answer. You came into this video with the feeling that you've been doing everything right and nothing has changed. And maybe some part of you suspected, quietly, that the problem was outside of you, that life was withholding, that the frequency work wasn't working, that you were somehow missing a step. But what if the missing step was never a technique? What if it was this, the willingness to stop managing your own existence and start meeting it, the willingness to turn your face fully toward the life that is already here, not the one you're waiting for, not the one you're afraid of, but the one that is breathing in front of you right now, carrying inside it every frequency you have ever needed. You were never separate from what you're seeking. That was always the illusion. The moment you stop turning away, reality doesn't need to change. You simply become available to the version of it that was already yours. Trust is not a feeling you wait for. It's the act of looking. Life is not happening to you. It's happening as you. It always was. You were never waiting for life. Life was waiting for you to arrive.